Good Tuesday to you, one and all. It is New Thought Tuesdays, and I'm Dean Regan. Today, we're talking about living in the past. Well, actually, we're talking about living in the present with the possibility of magnificence. Today, we're talking about on New Thought Tuesdays. Have you ever had the feeling like the voice of your past is like the loudest voice? Like, this is what happened, and therefore this is what's going to happen. And that's what we're going to turn away from today. The idea that your past isn't your prison. And even if it was joyous and joyous and joyous, it's not your focus to be on the past. Our focus is to be on the possibilities of the now. That's what we're talking about on New Thought Tuesdays. And when I say we, Richard Smith is here in spirit today. He's not joining us today. And we're going to focus on the now of this moment. This is all based on, there's this guy by the name of Thomas Troward, and he was a judge. And Ernest Holmes, who started the science of mind, philosophy, faith, and lifestyle, drew a lot of his information from Judge Troward. And one of the things Judge Troward said is this: principle is not bound by precedent. Okay, let me explain that, and then we're going to get off Troward, because Troward is an interesting read if you're ever interested in really diving deep. Not the easiest read in the world, but a really fascinating point of view about the logic of the science of mind, or what was to become the science of mind. Today we're turning our experiences into present alignment and not focused on the past. Your past is not your prison. It's your compost heap. Your past is just something that has happened. Our focus with the idea that principle is not bound by precedent is that principle, how the world works, heck, how the universe works, how all creation works. There is a spiritual idea, lots of different names for it. It goes into the principle, the law, and then it comes out as a manifestation. We like to say in New Thought, Science of Mind, it's easy to think about the seed, that great idea, into the soil, and it comes out as the plant. You put in a seed of a tomato, you put it into the soil, and you get tomato. You don't get kumquat. This idea that that principle is not bound by precedent, is that whatever has happened in your past, whatever has been the precedent, is of no interest to that force that creates your life. Now, if you focus on that information from the past in the present, then it absolutely goes into the principle and comes out as your life. The more you focus on the stuff that took place in the past that you do not wish, the more that energy is going to continue to go into your life, in, through, and as all that you do, all that you think, all that you say, all that you do. If you focus on the past, that's when the past becomes part of your present, but only if you pay attention to it. Now, take a deep breath. When I say only if you pay attention to it, if you go like, okay, I'm not paying attention to that. I'm not paying attention to the fact that this, and this happened to me when I was this, and that. I'm not paying attention to that. See, I'm not paying attention to that. You're still paying attention to that. You're pressing against it. You're doing a whole spiritual bypass thing, as we like to call. It's still in your awareness. As you work with it and release it, knowing that the only thing that is necessary, the only thing that is helpful, the only thing that is active are the ideas you bring forth into that principle. That's all that matters. So when I'm working with clients and there's a great deal of time spent on past, families, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, aunts and uncles, friends that wronged me, friends that righted me. As time goes on, I've really found that as this work takes hold, the focus on that begins to soften. As this work takes hold, as the idea of love and trust and intelligence and peace and abundance comes into my daily thinking, my moment to moment thinking, into my now, that experience comes out the other side. So when we say principle is not bound by precedent, as Judge Troward said, what we're really saying is stay in the present, determine what it is that is calling to you with joy. Focus on that and watch that come to life. I got an email, I think it was just today. It was a Abraham Hicks email. I just love this. Basically, it said, look, find your authentic joy. Find your authentic joy. Live your authentic joy. And then decide what's going to be on your calendar. Once you're in a place of joy, then only pick that which you're going to bring into your experience from a place of joy. As I like to say, if it's not a resounding yes, which to me is yes, that's great. I'm all over that, as my friend Patrick used to say in the commercials. I'm all over that. Once I've found the joy, then those resounding yeses come up more and more. And when I ask myself the question, how is this happening for me? It's really just from a place of, wow, how is this amazingness happening for me? So that is what we talk about when we're, well, okay, story. All right. So I had a rather negative experience when I was in my teenage period of growing up. It was an incident or two or more related to another human being that was very well, as I'm stuttering about it, it was very unfortunate. At the time, was not particularly negative, but as it turned out, it was a negative experience. And I guess because it wasn't a particularly violent or negative experience at the time, it was easier for me to go, oh, that wasn't so good. But I let it go authentically, easily. And I have an awareness of it. I remember what has happened in my life, but it hasn't driven me the way I would have expected it to. There are other things that I've experienced in my life that I have tremendous feelings about, negative or positive, and those negative, especially that I recall, that's what I put into the principle. And so it wasn't being bound by the past. It was bound by what negativity I was bringing into my present because of a negative experience that I was not looking to experience. In the past, I just kept churning it up, bringing it in my, well, you see. And I kept experiencing a negative experience because I kept bringing this negativity into my current, brand new, right now thought. And I found, as I've let go, that I've had much more joy in my life. And I found, as I haven't let go, I have much less joy in my life. So that's the dance that this practitioner is doing in this point in my life of filled with wisdom, focusing on keeping in the now that sense of joy, that sense of love. See, the way things are working, that soil, as I told you before, that principle, it doesn't go back and check in with your past. It's not like a computer base that says, oh, your past is we're going to check in on your past so we can get this result or this manifestation up. It's only focused on that feeling tone, that vibration that you put into it authentically right now. Holmes said, we are not limited by our previous experiences. We are only limited when we continue to recreate them. So essentially, in this faith, the past and the future don't exist. All that exists is what is happening in the now. Just thinking about the now. That has brought for my clients, it's interesting because it's brought a sense of relief. And then, should we go back to our old choices, let me dredge up the past, or let me put too much emphasis on the future, it starts to gum up the works. And then we get to remind ourselves, focus on the joy in this moment. If it's a resounding yes, great. If it's not, it's a resounding no. In the symphony of life, and my metaphor is that we're living in concert with our life. In the symphony of life, focus on the tone that is happening now. And just because, a chord has multiple tones in it. Life has multiple tones in it. Harmony does not happen when you're having just one note happening all the time. So embrace that sense of multiple tones in your life, multiple experiences in your life, and see how they harmonize. And then even when there's some discordant idea, allow yourself to know how you're feeling about it, sense how you're feeling about it, and make a choice in relationship to what you would prefer. Gently, lovingly, abundantly, peacefully reflect on this stuff. Okay, so as I'm saying this, I'm talking to the folks in the inner circle. And if you'd like to be a member of our inner circle, you can go to newthoughttuesdays.com, click around, and you will see how you can get a reminder to come up and be part of these social media broadcasts. And if you'd like to be a member of the inner circle, you can tap on one of those and talk to Rich about becoming a member. For those of you who are listening right now that are in the inner circle, think about your past and how it keeps showing up. What do you believe about the idea of principle is not bound by precedent? I look at it as focus on the possibility, not on the past. Focused on the possibility from a place of joy. If having infinite possibilities brings you joy, focus on the infinite possibilities. If having chosen possibilities floats your boat, float your boat and focus on that. We're going to do a meditation in the inner circle, and I look forward to doing that. And I thank you guys for coming today. Click, drag, subscribe, comment. How's this stuff working for you? What questions do you have? Put them in the comments, and we will respond. And Spirit will respond before we even respond. So do take some time to think about how this means, what this means for you in a new way. Not from a place of, oh, yeah, I know that stuff. But it's like, okay, this is what they said on New Thought Tuesdays today. How do I bring it fresh and new as if I've never experienced it before? and then take it from there. Okay. Thank you very much for being here. We are sending your love, and we will see you next time on New Thought Tuesdays.